Hi there everybody, it's Stillwinston here. Welcome to my channel. Today I've taken a break from live streaming and I've decided to talk about a different topic. So Season 2 has been going pretty well. Maru was released. And we got a new stage with him, and we actually got another stage before that. Trying to remember it off the top of my head by the time of this recording. And I got to thinking, with my main Raphael, stages actually do matter quite a bit for him. Mostly because of like his ring out game, how linear he can be, how easy he can be punished. Certain characters are better at certain ranges, so on and so forth. So I thought for this video I would go through each of the stages from worst to best, in my opinion, and discuss why they are so for Raphael. Not really going to talk about any other characters, I don't think. This is mostly just how Raphael is going to be generally doing well on the stage. Like, player skill matters a lot as well, but some stages are just better for certain characters. That's how it feels to me, especially. Yeah, so with that out of the way, onto the stages, and we're going to start with the worst to the best. So, probably the worst stage, both stages for Raphael, is probably Master Swordsman's Cave Azure Horizon. Now, the main reason I feel that this is one of Raphael's worst stages is just because of how prevalent. There's no ledges, well, there's no walls, and Raphael's ring out game, in general, he's not going to be scoring ring outs. He can, somewhat, but he's also reliant on, like, not being near the ledge, because if he whiffs a punish attempt near the ledge, he's going to get wrung out, he's going to get flapjacked, etc. The fairly large stage as well also benefits certain characters more, like Ivy as well. Cervantes with his gun, especially Ivy. Yeah, as you can see there, like, I could have been punished so hard for that and that as well. Just by gross sidestepping there. So, yeah, in general, if you can choose the stage, try to avoid picking Azure Horizon unless you know you're more skilled than your opponent and you're going to win. Because then you can do ring out games with Raphael to a certain degree. But yeah, in general, just don't go near this stage if you can help it. It'll help you in the long run, trust me. Okay, so tied for second, well, pretty much tied for worst, with Azure Horizon is Sunken Desert Ruins. Again, this stage is actually a bit shorter than Azure Horizon, I believe, which means Raphael can stay to his opponent closer. So there is that, but again, no walls whatsoever. Very easy to ring someone out. Very easy to ring Raphael out if he misses his punish game. So yeah, just especially if you're fighting Astaroth. Astaroth is so annoying on this stage. Just in general, if you're playing Raphael, don't go to this stage or Azure Horizon if you can at all help it. I always hate it when I see this stage and that stage in ranked, because I know I'm going to have a really rough time. Got to be more mindful of your positioning. And yeah, it's more of an uphill struggle for Raphael in general when he gets to these stages. Alright, next we have Shrine of Eurydice Cloud Sanctuary. So this stage, again, doesn't really have ledges. It has mid-walls, but Raphael doesn't really use mid-walls. Like, forward K can wall splat, which is good, but in general, I don't really use them. Like, I don't really use mid-walls, I use the large walls. And you can use the pillars in the four corners, you can use them. to get wall combos going. But if you're that close to the ledge, you might as well just try and ring your opponent out. This stage is fairly short, fairly small, so Raphael can keep his opponent close enough and punish accordingly. He's also got some decent stage carry. You know, he can carry person from one stage to the next fairly far enough, so you can flapjack. And also, I'm not sure with these pillars. I think if you go at them at a certain angle, they might not work. I'm pretty sure. What else can I talk about with this stage? Yeah, you can see right there, like Raphael, like a lot of his moves. I'm trying to think of moves that he has that wall splat on a small wall. None are really striking me at the moment, at least with my playstyle. Again, the 4 pillars allow him to get wall combos, so there is that, and it's short. But yeah, so this stage is better than Desert Ruins and Azure Horizon, but not by much. It's manageable if you're playing in ranked and player matches and that. So go to this stage if you want, but I really wouldn't recommend it if you're trying to be competitive or just trying to get an edge over someone. So yeah, there's that. So this is Windswept Plains. Now, I don't feel this is a good stage for Raphael. It's kind of meh. There are like two of the ledge spaces are occupied by full walls, which is great. It's a place you can keep your opponent in. You can box them in, bully them. Though my main gripes are the like 4 ledges. Stage is fairly big, so Raph can get outranged, outspaced, especially if he's fighting Ivy. It's a fair stage. You can have a good time with it on ranked and be alright and competitive. Just try to keep them near the ledge and survive. That's really all I can say for the stage. Not the worst for Raphael, definitely not one of the best either. So yeah, just watch out, especially if you're fighting Astaroth on this stage, because again, Rending Torment, Reversal Edge B, can bring you out, etc, etc. So now we're on to Astral Chaos, Tide of the Damned. So this stage has an interesting gimmick because of the barrier that you see around there. Yeah, what you can see, it can take 3 hits throughout the entire match and then it's destroyed. But full wall combos are like Raph's bread and butter. And again, he can use like, I think mid walls will work with forward B, AB. I think it does work. However, I prefer large walls because you can't be rung out over them. And once the barrier is gone, this becomes a wall-less stage. And like the stage size is decent, I would say. Like when the barrier's down, it's pretty close, so you can stay close to your opponent. When the barrier's gone, not much space is given, I would say. It's about maybe 3 character lengths. Like 3 character lengths of Raphael, maybe. So it's not that much. So yeah, it's a decent stage. One of my favorites as well, just because of how cool it looks. You'll have an easy time. You'll have a fair enough time on ranked and competitive with it. That was just a wee notification there. And yeah, so yeah, it's decent. Not my not his best stage, I feel, but you can still do stuff. All right, next up is Indian Port Impending Storm. Now, this stage, as you can see, it's quite good. It's quite long in terms of horizontal length, not so much vertical length. Both fighters start quite far away, I do believe. What makes the stage better is there are full walls on both ends of the stage, which allows for good combo potential, allows for good punish game. Raphael can back his opponent to the wall and keep going. Mid walls offer some protection from certain moves like Astros Rending Torment. But there's ledges, so, and again the small walls don't help against big launchers like Rafts or Astaroths or Cervantes or Sungmina. Like pretty much everyone that's got a fast uppercut, which is quite a wide majority of the cast, I do believe. If not, just everybody in general. Again, the narrowness of the stage does make it more possible to play the 2D game with Raphael, because as you can see, vertically speaking, the stage isn't that wide. It's very long horizontally, but vertically it's pretty narrow, so more often than not, they're going to have to contend with Raph's verticals. Which is nice, but again, the presence of the ledges, possibility of easy ring outs. And again, if you're in this part where you're both facing vertically, your opponent can possibly just flapjack you, just wall to wall you, ledge to ledge, and boom, you're dead. So yeah, this stage is better than Eurydice. I go to it quite a few times. It's one of my favorite stages just thematically. Music's great as well. But yeah, this is where it's ranked. So here we have Snow-Capped Showdown. Now this is it's not an impressive stage for Raphael. It's fairly large, so again, you're gonna struggle when you're fighting ranged opponents, and the middle walls can be destroyed like in Astral Chaos, but it only takes one hit, which kind of hurts Raph, because again, you don't want to be near ledges with Raph. The full walls are quite large, so there is plenty of opportunities to smack them into the wall, juggle them, punish them, bully them, etc. The ledge is fairly noticeable in this stage. Like again, I didn't really record much footage of it here, but yeah, as you can see, it's like pretty noticeable. So yeah, this stage it's definitely above like Azure Horizon, Windswept Plains, etc., but not the best stage for Raphael, in my opinion, by a fairly wide degree, to be honest. So yeah, you can still manage on this stage. You can still go. But yeah, I would recommend other stages above this one, especially with the ones above. So yeah. So now we're on to City Ruins Eternal Apocalypse, the 2B stage. So for this one, again, this stage is actually pretty small, all things considered. The two ledges there are fairly large enough to provide an opening for a ring out. However, one whole part of the stage has a full wall, and the little fence there behind Grove, I don't know, like, it feels like a medium wall, but like I can struggle to ring people out with Raphael. If I do this quarter circle back and D, if I do something like that, bring him out. But do his like forward B, doesn't feel like it brings him out. Yeah, again, that's like another or that one as well, but I hardly ever land neutral. Like you're never going to land an A plus B in neutral unless your opponent is doing something like Dark Legacy or their target reversal edge to read it. So yeah, this stage is pretty compact. Walls are decent enough, especially the wall. And kind of keep your opponent locked in reasonably enough. So yeah, like this stage, pretty decent for Raphael. Try and keep your opponent near the walls as best you can. Don't let them box you into the ledge. Standard Soul Calibur practice. I don't think you actually run into this stage in ranked match. I need to double check that. I don't think you do. I'll need to double check that with the Hamaru stage as well, but I think so. I don't know. I'll need to double check with some people. See what I can find on that one. But yeah, you can take this stage. You can go into this stage with Raphael. Feel pretty confident with your opponent. Just make sure to keep them near the wall, and you should be fine for the most part. As I said. Moving on, we have Replica Kaer Morhen, Geralt's stage. I see this one as kind of like a better version of Shrine of Eurydice, to be honest. Because there's small walls on both sides, and then there's a small wall at the back, and the corners have much larger full walls that are much easier to combo into, much easier to send the opponent into. And the ledges aren't too pervasive. The stage is also pretty small. So again, that means Raphael can stay close to his opponent and harass them. There's also identifiable weak spots. So Bastrov has his back to the ledge, or Zasamel has his back to the ledge. You know not to really go too ham because they can bring you out. Same with Nightmare. And the shortness of the stage means that opponents with long range like Ivy can't pester Raphael as much, which is also nice. So yeah, Replica Kaer Morhen, pretty decent stage. You'll have a good time for the most part. Walls are noticeable enough. Range isn't too bad either. This is a good stage. It's a decent stage, yeah, decent stage for Raph. What other notes? Yeah, you saw a nice ring out there. Yeah, like the starting distance isn't really that far. Like they're only about 3 or 4 character lengths away from the wall, as well, I think. So yeah, just it's a good stage to go to for Raphael. I enjoy going to it myself. Alright, so now we're on to Gairyu Island. So this is, in my opinion, it's basically a somewhat better Replica Kaer Morhen. Like you could call it the other version of it, really. The main differences being that these are full walls, and The stage has more prevalent ledges. Like, this is a pretty decent stage for Raphael, especially because, like, half of the stage has walls. And they're full walls, you don't have to worry about getting wrung out. So you can just try and box your opponent in. That's mainly the strategy I employ on this stage. Just try and punish my opponent, box them in, and then keep them away from the ledges so I can play my game. So yeah, I would rather have full walls than middle walls because it helps reduce vastly. Well, it makes it practically impossible to ring someone out because you can't ring them out over a full wall. Whereas if you've got a big enough vertical hitbox, then yeah, you can knock your opponent off of a half wall. What other things can I talk about with this stage? I can't remember if this stage is in ranked. I don't think it is. Again, someone correct me. I can't really remember because, you know, I've fought countless ranked matches and I'm struggling to remember them all. But yeah, if you're in a player room, this is a decent stage to go to. Try to avoid using it against longer ranged fighters though, like Ivy, because again, the stage does have quite a bit of length to it, so she can play the ranged game better. But other than that, yeah, you should be fine on this stage, I guess. So, now we have Master Swordsman's Cave Wicked Depths. This was the free stage that came out before the Halmaru DLC. Now, you might think this is just a repaint of Azure Horizon, but it's actually not. Namely because there are half walls on all edges of the stage, and the corners have full walls, which have a pretty big I'd say it's more than the full walls in Shrine of Eurydice. Yeah, so you can see that's me struggling to ring him out. But again, quite a few characters that do have absurd ring out games, like Astaroth, Taki. Taki has a command grab that just like, she has to knock you up into the air, but she can just ring you out with it. I think Yoshimitsu has one like that as well. So yeah, this stage, I believe it's about the same length as Azure Horizon. So again, characters who are good at distance, such as Ivy, can make it a struggle. But yeah, this is a fairly good stage for Raphael. I'm happy to take him to this stage against 99% of the people that I fight. Just because I love it thematically. It looks way cooler. So yeah, I would say this is much better than Azure Horizon. Definitely take Raphael here. Not much more to say. Just try to keep your opponents in the corner, and you should be fine because you can use the full walls and the middle walls and whatnot. So yeah. Alright, so next we have Kunpaktu Temple Serpentine Banquet. Now, one thing to note with this stage is the corners there. I do believe every round it switches between the corners and the wall. So it limits ring out potential because those count as full walls. And the ledges are fairly narrow, I would say. Like, it's not impossible to just flapjack your opponent. Size is fair enough, I would say. What else? Yeah, it's about the same size as Azure Horizon, if I recall correctly. So, it's up to you, really. As you can see me juggling grow there, because they are full walls. It's impossible to ring them out. And I can't remember the size of the walls that cover the ledges and not the corners, but I do believe it makes ring outs from there impossible. So yeah, this stage is pretty decent. Nice bit of variety, changes walls each round. Can give you a safety net, because you know you could be safe near a certain spot, or you can take your opponent to a certain spot. I'm always fine with it. Got no problems. This is a very good stage for Raphael. Not the best, but it's up there, in my opinion. Alright, so, my opinion, the third best stage for Raphael is going to be Osreinsburg Castle, Hall of the Chosen. This stage is my personal favorite, just because, like, as the rounds progress, the castle goes on fire, you battle amongst the flames, it's really cool, really dramatic. There are full walls all over, it is impossible to be wrung out. The main issue for me in this stage, however, is the sheer size of it. It's very easy to get distance, very easy to sidestep. Raphael's punish game. However, again, the full walls, and combine that with Raphael's punish game when he does land his hits. He can just juggle you, just get you into the wall, just bash you about. So yeah, and like the range itself does allow Raphael to just avoid certain attacks completely as well. So yeah, like I always enjoy going to this stage. I always have a good time on it. I'm fine when I'm in ranked. I feel like I'm gonna be okay because there's no possibility of being wrung out. I can just focus on my opponent and just focus on punishing their mistakes, just have a good time, just relax. So yeah, if you're playing as Raphael and you need a good stage, just go to Osreinsburg Castle and you should be fine. Alright, so the second best stage for Raphael, in my opinion, is Cursed Moonlit Woods. Another thematic favorite of mine. Moon of Oblivion is such a good song. This stage has full walls on all sides, impossible to ring out, and I do believe it is probably the smallest stage in the game. It's tied for that with the first stage that I've chosen for Raph. Replica Kaer Morhen's pretty small as well. But Cursed Moonlit Woods is smaller, which means that the opponent is going to have to stay close to Raphael a lot more. He can have a easier time punishing. His hitboxes are wide enough that he can, box the opponent in. I always have a good time with this stage as well. If I feel my opponent is really good in player matches, I'll probably take them here. Either that or the next stage. So yeah, again, there's just no ring outs. Just focus on your opponent. As you can see, the stage is pretty small. And yeah, just box them in and start punishing, whittle away their health, and GG. So yeah, just take Raphael here if you feel like you need home court advantage. So, the best stage for Raphael, in my opinion, is going to be Silver Wolves Haven. This was another free stage that came out around the time Season 2 started. It's pretty much the same as Cursed Moonlit Woods, but it's actually a different shape. Cursed Moonlit Woods is more of an oval, whereas Silver Wolves Haven is more like it's more like a badge shape, more like a police badge shape, kind of like that. If you know what I mean, like more squarish round, if you know what I mean. So again, this stage very small, no ring outs. I always feel comfortable fighting here, ranked and player matches, etc. I will always go here. If I have the chance, I'm playing Raphael and I'm fighting an opponent that I'm having a hard time with. In player matches, I will definitely take them here to Silver Wolf's Haven to just play my game, just know that I'm going to get a return, and be alright. So, yeah, so this is the best stage for Raphael. Obviously, of course, the training stage isn't allowed yet, I hope, because we could do with an infinite stage in Soul Calibur 6. We got them in Soul Calibur 5. So yeah, that would be nice to look at as well. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Check out my live streams. You can send me an email at stillwinston@gmail.com, and you can comment down below your thoughts and feelings. And yeah, take care, guys. See you next time. Soul still burns.